welcome to Doc Talk. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson here from the College of Veterinary Medicine at Kansas State University. Sure glad you joined us. Going to have a great show. I got Dr. Chris Reinhardt here today from the Animal Science Department, and we're going to talk about implants and how you should use them throughout the life of your calf. Stay tuned.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress, powered by Kansas farmers.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Doc Talk, brought to you by Kansas Pork Association, assisting producers and informing consumers.
Hi there and welcome to Doc Talk. Chris, welcome to Doc Talk.
Glad to be here.
Well, it's always good to have you. And you are an associate professor.
Yes, sir.
Over in the Department of Animal Science and Industries, and you're also our state nutrition specialist or feedlot specialist for the state of Kansas.
Yes, sir.
Do a lot of work out in the field, do a lot of work on campus, off campus, and kind of translating research to action.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It's good. We've been doing a lot of work with BQA lately. We've been doing a lot of work with the drought stress, nutrition programs, nitrates, and thought we'd switch gears and go on to something. Let's anticipate we're gonna get some snow and some rain, and we'll move on to another.
Think positive.
That's right, positive thinking. So we're gonna think about moving forward in that calf crop. And one of the things that I'm asked a lot, and I know you are too, is we know that we need to use steroid implants, but exactly what kind of programs are being recommended out there? And not to put you on the spot, but we're probably going to go through some of your recommendations and some of the myths and theories about steroid implants.
Excellent.
When you, one of the questions I get right off the bat is, okay, calves are going to be born this year, and I don't know whether I should implant the calves on the cow or not. And what are some of the positives and negatives to using steroid implants on calves while they're still suckling?
I don't know many negatives to think of. The positives are extra weight gain. What an implant does even in that baby calf is it takes those nutrients and really allows that calf to utilize those more efficiently for putting on muscle and maybe putting on a little less fat. The net result is that calf is going to be something between 15 and 25 pounds heavier at weaning time from the use of that implant.
Pretty important, pretty big jump.
And this year we're anticipating that being worth a lot of money, right?
Yep, sure are. And so then we start to think about, okay, well, there are different types of products out there. What kind of products are we looking at when we're implanting these suckling calves?
I try and make things as simple and clear as possible. That's what people need, and that's what people remember. And the simple way to put it, Doc, is that we have products available that are really proportional to the animal's size and nutrient intake. And so what I recommend in a suckling calf is a very mild implant. I kind of categorize them as mild, intermediate, or high potency. And so we've got a number of very good products that fit in that mild category. We've got a small calf eating a little bit of nutrients. Let's use a mild implant.
Cool. Well, so when we come back, I think we'll continue this discussion because we'll have to talk about when do I do it, is there a re-implant, different things like that, and then we'll move on into weaning.
Excellent.
Appreciate you being here.
Glad to be here.
Appreciate you all watching us. Thanks for watching Doc Talk. We're going to be back in just a minute here after the break. The Kansas State University College of Veterinary Medicine is a leader in food animal research and education. Our researchers are constantly expanding the knowledge of animal health and food safety. Through the Veterinary Health Center and the Kansas State Veterinary Diagnostic Lab, we provide practical services for animal producers. Home of the Beef Cattle Institute, the college is committed to animal welfare training and research. The Kansas State University College of Veterinary Medicine, knowledge and service for the future of animal production.
Get ready for the Kicker Country Stampede presented by Verizon Wireless, starring Jason Aldean, Trace Atkins. 4 days of camping and country music at Country Stampede, Little Big Town. The Pistol Annies featuring Ashley Monroe, Miranda Lambert, and Angelina Presley. Country Stampede. Take advantage of our current pricing. Advanced pricing for a 4-day ticket is $135. Prices go up June 26. More info at countrystampede.com.
This hog is head over hoof for meal made from U.S. soybeans. Now, one hog isn't that impressive, but suppose we add another, and another, and another. Before long, you've got billions of hungry customers around the world all clamoring for the same thing. Our soybeans. Learn more about the billion-dollar appetite of animal agriculture at BeyondTheElevator.com. Brought to you by America's soybean farmers and their checkoff.
Dr. Dan here. Whether I'm driving up and down the roads covering the state of Kansas or I'm getting between Riley and Manhattan for my job, I'm driving a Ford truck. I'd like you to come out and visit my friends here at Dick Edwards Ford. They have a truck that'll suit your needs, whether you're looking for power with a Power Stroke diesel, or if you're looking for fuel efficiency with the new EcoBoost engine, they got a truck that's just right for you. They're located 2 miles east of the Town Center Mall in Manhattan, Kansas, and they'll bend over backwards to help you. And I'll see you down the road.
Tar Waters has what you need for all seasons for around the farm and home. Working, hunting, growing, feeding, snow removal, even fun for the kids. And a service department with experienced techs to help keep your equipment in top running condition. Tar Waters has a huge selection and the best prices. Tar Water Farm and Home, family owned and operated since 1978. They have what you need.
Doc Talk, brought to you by Santa Fe Trail Meats in Overbrook, or visit us online at sftmeats.com.
Hi there and welcome back to Doc Talk. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson here from the College of Veterinary Medicine at Kansas State University, and I'm joined by my colleague and friend, Dr. Chris Reinhardt, who's an associate professor over in the Department of Animal Science and Industry. And Dr. Reinhardt is also our state feedlot specialist. And so we're talking about things before the feedlot,
Yes.
since you're the feedlot specialist.
It all ties together, Doc.
So then when we're looking at different implant programs, and we've established that we do want to implant these calves, and we're going to use a low or mild potency steroid implant. And people can work with their veterinarian or nutritionist to determine the implant that's appropriate. Now, when do you administer these steroid implants on these calves?
Because of how that calf develops, we typically recommend they don't get an implant before 2 months of age. Okay. There's just not enough going on in terms of nutrient intake and growth. The growth is very slow up until that point after the calf is born. But once they hit 2 to 3 months of age, they're capable of consuming a fair amount of feed, and their lean growth potential really takes off at that point.
So a lot of people, when they brand calves or bring calves in for their summer shots or whatever, that's when they're probably going to give that implant, about 3 months of age.
And that's an excellent point. There's a lot more calfhood vaccination going on than I was aware of 15, 20 years ago, and that's a perfect time to do that.
Now, one of the questions that's always asked about, we don't know based on the steers. That's one thing. Okay. Now there are two other classes of cattle on steroid implants, and bull calves, potential breeding calves for the herd, and then replacement heifers. And what are some of the recommendations that you're seeing out there in the industry on those two classes of animals?
Again, I try and keep my recommendations fairly clean, and the simple one on heifers is if you don't know for sure whether you're going to sell those as market cattle or potentially use those or sell those as replacement heifers, I would recommend we forego the implant.
So don't do it.
Don't use the implant on heifers that you're not sure may be replacement females. And the reason for that is not that there's an abundance of evidence that says the implants do anything negative in that heifer. The point is, market cattle we sell by the pound, and that 15 to 20 extra pounds, we know what that's worth. In a replacement female, there is a small amount of evidence that says if done incorrectly, we could potentially lose a little bit of fertility in her, and it's just not worth the risk.
And I definitely stay away from implanting bull calves that we potentially will keep for breeding purposes. There's really no need to do it.
Exactly. I agree with that. Those intact testicles, especially as that calf approaches weaning time and approaches maturity, those are his implants, and to implant that calf really doesn't give us anything additional.
So in a nutshell, if you think you're going to keep them as replacement heifers or don't know, don't implant them.
If, on the contrary, if I know for sure those heifers are going to be feedlot heifers, by all means, use the implant.
Use the implant. So steers, heifers sent to the feed yard, we're going to implant those. Those for reproductive purposes, we're not going to do it.
Agree.
Thanks for watching Doc Talk, and we'll be right back after the break.
We've been using Multi-Min for about 7 years. It's one of the most multi-use products that we have here on the farm. Bulls, cows, calves, weaning age cattle, just about everything on the place. If they go through the chute, they get a shot of it. The primary use that we started Multi-Min was in our donor program, in our embryo transplant program. I'd recommend Multi-Min to any producer in the cattle business. Here at Deer Valley, every animal that goes through the chute gets a dose of Multi-Min.
And now here's another gardening tip with Dave Jackson.
Did you know that dandelions can be killed in your yard with a product made by Fertilome called Weed Out, and you don't have to fertilize your lawn? So if you're worried about your lawn getting too high and too tall too quick with too much fertilizer, come in and ask for some Fertilome Weed Out without lawn fertilizer to kill your dandelions.
Stop in at Jackson's for the best selection of homegrown plants for your gardens and landscapes. Watch for our garden tips on Drew's Garden Wall.
Get ready for the Kicker Country Stampede presented by Verizon Wireless, starring Jason Aldean, Trace Atkins. 4 days of camping and country music at Country Stampede, Little Big Town. The Pistolantes featuring Ashley Monroe, Miranda Lambert, and Angelina Presley. Country Stampede. Take advantage of our current pricing. Advanced pricing for a 4-day ticket is $135. Prices go up June 26. More info at countrystampede.com.
Purple Wave is a proud supporter of the Kansas FFA through the Bid for Blue program. Purple Wave donates a portion of the proceeds earned on certain ag assets to the Kansas FFA. Winning bidders can designate a Kansas chapter to receive the donation. To date, Purple Wave is proud to have donated over $10,000. Visit purplewave.com to learn more and to place bids on Bid for Blue assets. Purple Wave Auction. Straight, simple, sold.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
American innovation is being driven in places you might not expect by people like Brent Hayek, an Oklahoma family farmer, who recently set a world land speed record in a Ford Super Duty pickup truck powered by renewable B20 biodiesel. Advanced performance is here, now, putting America on the fast track to more jobs and energy independence. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
Doc Talk, brought to you by Brown Chevrolet Buick. In Wamego, just a short drive down the Yellow Brick Road.
Hi there, and welcome back to Doc Talk. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson here from the College of Veterinary Medicine at Kansas State University, joined by Dr. Chris Reinhardt, who is the feedlot specialist for the state of Kansas and an associate professor over in the Department of Animal Science and Industry. And we've been discussing implanting suckling calves and what program to use, which animals that will receive it, which ones won't. And the one question, though, that I get a lot in the feed yard industry is, or from people who are going to sell those calves, is people tell me that if I implant the calves on the cow, they're going to be worth less at the sale barn or have less potential for growth in the feed yard or less responsiveness to subsequent implants, a whole bunch of different questions that you get. You keep things simple, but this one might test you.
Well, I'll try and clarify. There was potentially 1 or maybe 2 studies done in the late 1970s, early 1980s that said a calf that got an implant while suckling was less responsive once it got to the feedlot. That study, for the last 30 years, we've tried to replicate and duplicate those results and really haven't seen that. So the vast majority of the data says the calves continue to respond to implants essentially the same way. And so what I tell ranchers is yeah, they're going to get the value out of the implant on their dam, and they're going to get just as much value at the next stage of production.
So there's really there really isn't much to worry about as far as, especially in, you know, the other question, there's two types of calves. There's the ones that are going to be sold to somebody else and the ones you're going to retain ownership in. And definitely if you're going to retain ownership, you know, those are the ones you probably want to make sure you get implanted as a suckling calf.
If you're going to retain ownership, what I tell people is the 20 extra pounds they put on while they're on their mother, they will have that 20 extra pounds for their entire life. They'll go out of the feedlot weighing 20 pounds heavier than the calves who didn't get that calf foot implant.
Maybe finish earlier, less days on feed, different things like that that are all economic signals to making or not making money.
Pounds is king, Doc. You know that.
That's right. All right. So coming into a feed yard, do you adjust your implant strategy based on whether the calves have been implanted or not, or are you just going to use your implant strategy based on the weight of the animals coming in?
I wouldn't adjust anything, and the reason goes back to what we said earlier. All of the implants we've got available in our marketplace are designed for a specific weight of calf and a specific nutrient intake, and these calves are coming in weighing 500, 600, 700 pounds. They're eating a lot of feed compared to 20 or 30 years ago. They're going to be able to handle a higher dosage of implant than that baby calf on its mother.
Yeah, great points. I think it's something that when we start to think about developing steroid implant programs for the life cycle of the calf, all of these things need to be taken into account. We're going to take a break, and then when we come back, one of the things I want to discuss is some research that we've done here on kind of that weaning calf strategy, whether to implant, whether not to implant, delaying it, and such. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate you watching too. We'll be right back after the break.
This is the fast track to more jobs and America's energy independence. Advanced performance is here, now. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Roy Fry Western Lifestyles brings the cowboy or cowgirl out in all of us. With a huge selection of must-have items, it doesn't matter if you're shopping for your horse, picking up some Western accessories to add that rustic charm to your home, or simply treating yourself. The knowledge and expertise to dress you your Western best is right here at Roy Fry Western Lifestyles, Highway 24 and Kansas Avenue in Topeka.
Ag AM in Kansas is brought to you in part by K-State Research and Extension. Knowledge for life.
This is Agriculture Today from Kansas State University. As a rotational crop with winter wheat, the oilseed canola is starting to catch on with producers in the central and southern plains. K-State's Mike Stamm has been developing canola varieties suited for the plains region and points to the attributes of this crop.
Winter canola is a high-value oilseed. The oil that canola produces is approximately 40%, which is about twice as much as what the soybean produces. Canola oil is a very healthy oil for consumers here in the United States as well as around the world. We import approximately 80% of the canola oil that we consume in the United States, so it makes sense for farmers in the southern Great Plains to grow more winter canola.
This is K-State Research and Extension.
Golf Week calls it the best course you can play in Kansas. But once you play, you'll want to stay. Go for it. Firekeeper Golf Course at Prairie Band Casino and Resort is just north of Topeka off Highway 75. Our stay and play package is worth the trip. Luxury hotel room, green fees, and golf cart for two, starting at just $169.
Prairie Band Casino and Resort. Go for it!
The Kansas State University College of Veterinary Medicine is a leader in food animal research and education. Our researchers are constantly expanding the knowledge of animal health and food safety. Through the Veterinary Health Center and the Kansas State Veterinary Diagnostic Lab, we provide practical services for animal producers. Home of the Beef Cattle Institute, the college is committed to animal welfare training and research. The Kansas State University College of Veterinary Medicine, knowledge and service for the future of animal production.
Doc Talk, brought to you by Roy Fry Western Lifestyles, dressing Northeast Kansas their Western best for over 57 years.
Hi there and welcome to Doc Talk. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson and we're wrapping up our segment on suckling calf implant strategies, and the best way to wrap that up, Dr. Reinhardt, is to move on to weaning. Dr. Reinhardt, if you haven't been with us in the previous segments, is the state feedlot specialist here at Kansas State University and an associate professor and nutritionist by training, who's done a lot of work with steroid implants out in the industry, many different companies that you've either worked directly for or indirectly for. And so it's nice to have your type of recognition and experience with these products here on board at Kansas State University. And so now, one of the questions we get is if I implant the calves as I wean them, I'm going to decrease the health status of those calves, specifically with bovine respiratory disease. What's our research say? Kind of put him on the spot here.
What I like to say about that, I'll call it that theory, was it was a theory based on maybe some defensible ideas, but there really wasn't any data up until a year or so ago. And we ran a very large, well-replicated study here in Kansas in a commercial feed yard with truly high-risk calves coming in that had a long haul on them, and there was quite a bit of morbidity in those calves. And the simple design was either give them an implant on arrival or delay that implant and let those calves kind of get over that stress. And again, the long story short was there was no advantage of delaying that implant.
Yeah, and when you take a look at it, whether it was morbidity, mortality, there might have been some trends there, but nothing significant. But the thing that there was, for every trend that there was on the health side, there was a positive trend to giving that implant up front on pounds of carcass and pounds of outweight. So really no deleterious effects in my mind.
Well, the thing I always say is you might have a set of calves with 30% morbidity in those calves. What that sort of means is I've got 70% healthy calves in that pen who are stepping up and eating every day, and if we decide to not implant because of a very small number of calves that may not respond immediately to that implant, number one, we're giving up performance on the other 70, 80, 90% of the pen. But the other thing to remember is, too, calves get over being sick, and then they begin to eat well and respond. They will respond to that implant. We give up pounds every day we don't have an implant in those calves.
Well, I think it's been a great segment, whether it's talking about making sure you implant those calves while they're suckling on the cow, specifically the steers and the feeder heifers. Maybe on the ones we're going to use as replacements we're going to stay away from, and that the programs really don't have a big effect, the ones that we use on the cow, on the calves in the feed yard.
None that I can find.
Sure appreciate you being here today.
It's a great opportunity.
And thank you for watching Doc Talk. If you want to learn more about what Dr. Reinhardt and I do here at Kansas State University, you can go on the web at www.vet.ksu.edu. Remember, we recommend that you always work with your local veterinarian. Again, I'm Dr. Dan Thompson here from the College of Veterinary Medicine. You've been watching Doc Talk. We appreciate you watching the show, and we'll see you down the road.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.